The United Nations has once again postponed the release of a report into Israel's deadly raid on a Gaza-bound aid flotilla in 2010. The report was expected out this week, but media say Israel has asked the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to delay its publication for the second time in a month. This as an Israeli official has refused to confirm the reports. Israeli commandos killed 9 Turkish activists during a raid on an aid flotilla. Relations between Turkey and Israel soured after the attack, and Ankara has demanded a formal apology from Israel. It also wants Tel Aviv to compensate the families of the victims in the attack and to lift the Gaza blockade. Well, Ray McGovern, former CIA analyst, joins us from Washington on the phone in order to shed more light on this. Well, Ray McGovern, here we go. Twice this month, and of course even prior to that, in terms of wanting this to be postponed. What do you make of this development, first of all?
The delay of the UN report?
Yes.
Yeah, this is part and parcel of the U.S. and Israel exerting overweening influence on what happens at the UN. First, a point of clarification. Killed last year in the Mavi Marmara attack by Israeli commandos were 8 Turkish citizens and 1 American citizen. Now, Prime Minister Erdogan feels strongly about his citizens being killed, less so our president. And what we had here was a draft that was circulated, already postponed once, which by early reports said the Israeli commandos who landed on the Mavi Marmara were intent on killing people. Okay, now this is not a nice thing for Israel to countenance. After all, they're very, very concerned about what they call delegitimizing themselves, okay? Well, they're doing a really good job in any respect, but to countenance a UN report that says their commandos were set to kill the people on Mavi Marmara, that goes a little too far. And so they persuaded Erdogan to hold off for a bit, and they even persuaded him to take out the Mavi Marmara from this year's flotilla, a major concession on the part of Erdogan. What did he get for it? Zilch. And so now he is in high dudgeon, and he has threatened to visit Gaza after a visit to Egypt next month, which would be unprecedented and which would show how strongly he feels about this. After all, you know, at a session with one of the highest officials of the Israeli government 2 years ago, Erdogan walked out after the Israelis tried to justify their Guernica-type bombing of Gaza at the turn of 2008 and 2009. So he feels really strongly about this, and there is great pressure in Turkey. There were hundreds of thousands of people that volunteered to be on the Mavi Marmara this year, and Erdogan bowed to Israeli pressure. My guess is that the Turks, being a very, very proud people, they're not a gullible people, and they will move strongly now to see what they can get to extract from the Israelis as a concession for what they have already given the Israelis. And failing that, look for Prime Minister Erdogan to go not only to Egypt, but to Gaza. And that would be a place where the flotilla has not been able to go. That would break the blockade in a very significant way.
Ray McGovern, overall, when we look at what this report was, the UN Human Rights Council's International Independent Fact-Finding Mission in a 56-page report clearly found that the Israeli commandos were using basically too much force, in which the Council found clearly unlawful. Now, is this just a matter of time before this is disclosed? And then overall, doesn't this make UN's credibility come under question time and again when it comes to Israel?
Well, you know, if further proof were needed of the lack of credibility when we talk about U.S. knee-jerk support for Israel, yeah, this would provide further evidence. After all, this is a unique case. We have eyewitness reports. We have video showing exactly what happened, showing the commandos from the Israeli helicopters repelling and then landing from, and not only on the Mavi Marmara, they landed on all the boats, okay? Now, we were briefed, we of the U.S. boat to Gaza the audacity of hope that was bottled up in Athens because of Israeli and U.S. pressure. We were briefed by people who had been on the Mavi Marmara the year before and had eyewitnessed firsthand what had happened. One was a Norwegian activist who gave us an hour briefing on exactly what he said, to include some video. So the U.S. and Israel can dissemble, they can deny, and they can issue all kinds of explanatory reports, but pictures are worth 1,000 words. Erdogan of Turkey knows that, and I see that the initial improvement in relations between Turkey and Israel is in real trouble now. And as one of the Israeli senior officials of the Foreign Office has admitted, we need Turkey. They used to be our friend. They used to be one of the only Muslim countries that had a decent relationship with us. The Israelis have now lost Egypt, they've now lost Turkey, and they have Palestinians adopting a new, very inventive method of resistance called civil disobedience, unarmed disobedience on all their borders. Mm-hmm. So the Israelis are running very scared now. They don't know what to do, but they have been successful, at least this week, in postponing yet again the report that shows that there was an unprovoked attack with 8 Turkish and 1 U.S. citizens killed.
Very good. Thank you very much. We're going to have to leave it there. Ray McGovern, former CIA analyst there with Washington.